Okay, so we are at the final stage of assignment 2. So this is phase 3. And there is a file that you will need to bring inside of your kitchen for printing. So basically, your model view of the kitchen, and be sure that you click here in your kitchen assignment, and you're going to see that you have model view here, and this is where we actually drew everything on AutoCAD screen. And I have created another file, so this is a totally new file. All you have to do is to go to Course Bulletin and News, and then you're going to be able to find the file and open it. Once you open it, it's going to be next, the tab here is going to be next, placed next to the kitchen assignment or kitchen project. Okay, so make sure that you open it while you are inside of the galley kitchen. Is going to be open next to it. The thing about this is that we will need that. This is a very, rudimentary, basic type of a title block. And as you can see, just have the project name. It's basically a block. It's all combined into a block, the text and the lines. And we need something as basic as this to bring it inside of for printing. So what we will do is this. Once this is opened, we're going to go back to the galley kitchen or your kitchen project. And I'm going to click here. And one of the things that I want to make sure that it is off is a display drawing grid. So I'm just going to click on the display drawing grid to turn it off, so I don't have the grid here. And I'm going to click on the layout, which is on the left-hand side, the bottom left-hand side. Now, this layout is basically where we're going to be printing, or what we call sometimes paper space. Because if you take a look at the right-hand side here next to the also command, you have the paper. So paper is basically layout. We call layout or paper the same. Right now we are on the paper side of AutoCAD, and we're going to be printing from here according to specific sizes. And we're going to be using some new commands. So the first thing that we need to do is to bring the title block, which we have here. We want to bring it inside of the layout or the paper space here, because we want to place it on that sheet of paper. But before doing that, we need to set the dimensions of our page, what type of page we're going to be printing, what type of size. So to do that, we're going to right click here on layout, and I'm going to go to something called Page Setup Manager. So we right click on the tab, and we're going to go to Page Setup Manager. Now, once I have this in here, okay, I have layout 1 and I have layout 2, and then I need to click on modify. Here we're going to see the plot size. Now the plot size is set to A3 page, and this is basically the page that we're going to be using, that size. I know that might be some modification between what you see here and the assignment sheet, but trust me, we're working on changing the assignment sheet according to these specification. So please follow along, because that's how we're going to be printing. Modify, I'm going to click on modify here. And once I click on modify, there are some sets that I need to be setting. The first thing is from the name for the printer or plotter, unless you are actually printing, what we're going to be doing is we're going to save this to the PDF. So we're going to be printing those sheets to PDF, and they're going to be according to the right scale. If you try to scale them later on or take measurements from the sheet. So what you're going to be selecting is DWG to PDF. All right. And what you will be selecting here from the paper size is ISO full bleed. So we want ISO A3. So if we have that, okay, this is the one that we want. It's ISO full bleed 297 by 420 millimeter. This is the one we're going to be working with. All right. And another thing is we need to make sure that the plot style is acad.ctb. So this is kind of the standard. that we have, and this is what that is going to be showing our line weights and other attributes of layers that we have assigned. Now, the most important thing in here is that we need the scale to be 1:1, okay? And we want to make sure that this is set to millimeter instead of inches. Because if it's set to inches, you're going to have a lot of problems in printing to the right scale. So because we are using millimeters or the metric system since we started the assignment, we will also be printing according to that scale. So here is 1:1 and here is millimeter. Are we printing to 1:1? No, but we can change the scale later from one of the commands that we have here. So for now, we have 1:1 and we have millimeter selected. What to plot is layout because we're going to be printing from here. So that's what we're going to be printing from. And there's nothing else actually that we want to set other than making sure that the drawing orientation is set to landscape. So those are the main options here, okay, that we want to set according to what you see on your screen. And also plot object line weights because we want to see the line weights that we have assigned. Plot with plot styles and plot paper space last, which is basically what we have right now. So this is all of what we want to set up, and this is going to change if we click on OK here, and then I'm going to click on close. The paper size, if it was 8 inches by 11, it's going to change to reflect that the size has become actually bigger. So that's an A3 size. Now, how to get the title block that you have placed here inside of that paper sheet that we have set the size to. On your command line, we're going to type something called Design Center. Okay, and just add this, or you can also type, I'm just going to close this and I'm going to show you another way to bring up a block from a different file. It's called DC. So DC is standing for Design Center. And once you type DC, you're going to see here that you have AD Design Center. So if you click on it, what will happen is, I just want to move this here a little bit. Okay, now make sure that you are on open drawings, you're not on folders. Okay, so here you are, because sometimes I see students trying to find where is the file that they are getting the block from, and it's not here. It's actually in the open drawings. Open drawings means the drawings that are open next to each other on your AutoCAD screen. So we have to right now, we have this. I mean, if I click on the plus sign, it's going to expand, and that's the kitchen file that you're working on, and it does have blocks and dimension style and layers, and it's also opening the file, the title block file that you just placed here. And the first thing that you can click on is blocks. So this means that you can get any block or any layer from a different file and insert it into the file that you're working on. This is very handy, and you're going to see how handy it is in AutoCAD too, because you're going to bring in a lot of blocks and a lot of line types and layers from different drawings. So the first thing here, if you have this as the minus, so you actually need to click on it to expand it, or you can even double click here on the blocks, and this is going to include all the blocks that you have in the drawings. Because I don't have anything except in the title block file except this block, so this is why you're not going to find anything else other than this. So I'm just going to just move this, and make sure that when you move that part, or you move the Design Center menu, is that you're clicking here, because if you clicked anywhere else, you're accidentally going to click or close or expand that, and you don't want that. So you are in open drawings here, you selected blocks, and the next thing you're going to do is that, I'm just going to move this a little bit, is that you're going to click on the title block and hold with your left mouse button, and then you're going to insert that in here. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to close that. So I brought in the title block. Now the title block might look a little bit small, okay, but that's fine. What we can do is that we're going to click on scale, and then I'm going to click here on the block, and then I'm going to click enter on my keyboard, and then I'm going to hover over and pick a base point. I'm not right now, object snap is turned off, So I'm just going to turn it on, and then I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to expand it a little bit. And when you click and expand and then click again, then you're going to apply the scale. We can also move this. So I'm going to click on move, enter, and then click on one of these base point or corner points. And I'm going to try to situate this almost in the middle of the page as possible. One of the things that might also help me, if I click here, and then if I went here and turned off object OSnap, because sometimes it can snap to the margins of the sheet. So here it seems that we have done well in kind of situating it almost in the middle of the sheet. So that's the first part that we needed to do for this, which is inserting the title block inside of the paper space for printing. Okay, so from printing from paper space, that's the first part. And then we're going to move to see how we are going to be inserting our floor plan and elevations inside of the title block that we have just created.